So just to explain what the bill does, it does three main things. Firstly, it bans social media platforms from using recommender algorithms where they know a user is under 18 or where they don't know the user's age. Secondly, for users over 18, it requires recommender algorithms not to use personal data unless the user has selected that option. And thirdly, it requires these platforms to facilitate users in choosing recommender algorithm parameters. The reason for this is social media corporations owned by the tech oligarchy of the world, some of the biggest corporations in the world making enormous profits, have so much power over what we see on our social media platforms, which are effectively the things that should be public space but are operated as private space. They are using algorithms that are not publicly disclosed, that are treated as confidential information, to drive toxic content of a whole variety of different forms, which we're going to discuss today, to young people and to everybody, including adults. The reason they're doing it is because it's what maximizes profit for them. They want to keep people's eyes on the screen for as long as possible, which means they can bombard them with targeted advertising. The consequences are really quite horrendous. I mean, there's a number of studies which might be referred to which are shocking. When one example found that looked at what videos YouTube recommends to a 13-year-old Irish girl who watches one video about eating disorders, and found that out of 1,000 YouTube video recommendations, 1 in 3 were for harmful eating disorder content. 2 in 3 were relating to eating disorders or weight loss. 1 in 20 involved self-harm or suicide content. Another study done by DCU set up 10 blank male-identified accounts of 16 and 18-year-olds on 10 blank smartphones, and all of them were fed masculinist, anti-feminist and other extremist content within 23 minutes. They didn't seek it out, they were simply fed it by the algorithm. By 2 to 3 hours of viewing, the vast majority of the content being recommended was toxic, primarily falling into the manosphere, alpha male and anti-feminist category. By far the most prevalent of these was Andrew Tate. And this is driving an epidemic of mental health problems among young people, with anxiety, self-harm, eating disorders and online addiction all spiralling. It's impacting children, women, people of colour, LGBTQ plus people who are put at risk by the use of these recommender algorithms in spreading misogyny, racism, homophobia and transphobia. 3/4 of the public believe that there should be stronger regulation of social media algorithms. And last year, Commission Naman, in their draft online safety code, included a recommendation to turn off recommender algorithms by default, but that was scrapped following lobbying by the big tech corporations whose profits depend upon them keeping people scrolling as much as is possible. So this is in the absence of the tech companies taking any action, any responsibility for the content they are feeding people, in the absence of action by the state. We are introducing this bill to effectively free young people from the imposition of this harmful content without them choosing to go look for it. To be clear, this is not a freedom of speech issue whatsoever. This is about people being force-fed harmful, toxic material. But also, I mean, a lot of the focus on this, understandably, is on young people in the discussion. But adults also don't want to be fed these things. They should have the choice to say, oh, I'm going to opt in to this sort of recommender algorithm. I understand what sort of content this is going to give to me, but they should be able to do so freely and willingly with the terms and conditions laid out very clearly to know what they're signing up for, as opposed to automatically, once you sign up for a social media platform, you're going to be fed this material.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.